those undecided voters their way who still have not made up their mind, unless you're asking Jason. He says they don't exist. HLN political contributor Jason Johnson here to talk about it, along with Republican analyst Lenny McAllister. Guys, thanks for being here.
Good to be here.
All right, so Lenny, what are you guys expecting for tomorrow? You first. And you guys, by the way, are friends, so I'm going to let you go at it and see if you fight.
Well, we've been talking about this for a while offline, so it's about time we talked about it on the air. One of the first things we're going to have to see is if Governor Romney can have that tough image that he's been trying to portray without going too far. I was just here in the green room, and I've heard several people, including Speaker of the House, former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, and others say that Mitt Romney was a little too hot, went a little too far with the aggression. Being presidential is not just being tough. You have to have poise. You have to have temperance. That's one of the things that people saw in Senator Obama in 2008, that Governor Romney's going to have to bring more to the table tomorrow night. So even though he'll be tough on Benghazi and some of the other issues over the past 4 years, he has to do it in a tempered way. He's going to have to channel his inner Reagan. Reagan wasn't just tough, but he was also smooth, and he made people relax, and they trusted his leadership as a result of that.
Now, Jason, what do you think? Does Mitt Romney, can he play Mr. Nice Guy well for you?
He can't play Mr. Nice Guy, and he can't win tomorrow. Look, I'm calling tomorrow for the president. And the reason I'm calling for the president is because when you have a foreign policy debate, the incumbent president always has an advantage because his go-to answer is, were you in the secret meetings? I'm the one who gets to see the top secret reports. You don't know what's really going on. So the only thing Mitt Romney can say is, I don't really like how you handled Benghazi. And then Barack Obama can say, look, I took care of Gaddafi. I took care of Osama bin Laden. There's really nothing that Mitt Romney can say, and he'll probably end up losing this debate. Although since there's no undecideds at this point, it really won't matter.
Ah, okay. So what do you think about that?
Natasha, I don't know about this. Number one, Benghazi is a big deal. Number two, there's been 2 or 3 different narratives out there. Osama bin Laden and the raid to get Osama bin Laden has been over a year ago. So now you're looking at Iran being closer to having a nuclear weapon. You're talking about Israel, talking about this magical red line that they just talked about a couple of weeks ago. And then you hear this story about this narrative about daylight between Israel and the United States. President Obama still has a credibility gap that he's going to have to fill. That first debate did not do him any favors whatsoever. And moving into this third debate, if he is lackluster, Governor Romney's going to take advantage of that, start talking about Benghazi and the gaps, and go forward from there. This is something that President Obama has to win convincingly.
Undecided voters in Ohio, in Indiana, and really what I mean by undecideds, I mean people who aren't strong partisans one way or another. They're not thinking about Libya, okay? All they want to know is that the President of the United States is going to do what he said last time, which is, I'm going to hunt down the people who did this. That's the only concern that people have. Foreign policy is not a strong suit for a challenger. Look, the same thing happened in 2004. You had John Kerry. He had a lot more military experience because Bush never even showed up to the war he was supposed to fight in, and it still didn't end up mattering. This is going to be very hard for Mitt Romney, like it is for any challenger.
All right, I'm going to jump in and ask this one. Tomorrow's debate, it's going to be on foreign policy. It's going to be different, everybody's saying. Who is going to benefit in this one? Lenny, I'll let you go, and I'll let you have the last say, Jason.
Well, when it comes to what's going to happen with this foreign policy debate, it should be the commander-in-chief if he comes out strong and is able to go after Governor Romney with facts, figures, and results, and speaks from that perspective. However, we have already seen from the first 2 debates, if President Obama is not strong and is not convincing, there are enough undecided voters to start flipping these polls. We've seen it in Florida. We're starting to see Pennsylvania become competitive again after it had not been for several months now. There are enough undecided voters for Governor Romney to peel off a narrow victory if President Obama is not strong tomorrow.
All right, Jason.
Look, if Barack Obama screws up tomorrow, of course he's going to end up losing the election. He might end up losing the election anyway, but it's not necessarily going to have much to do with this debate. This is an area where Mitt Romney just has to hold on by his fingernails because he's not going to be able to make that many compelling arguments. Look, the most important thing is this. Most Americans aren't going to be concerned about Israel, and the President of the United States said something very clear about what he was going to do about Libya. So the important thing for Mitt Romney to do is he's got to make arguments about China. He's got to say that the economy is a foreign policy issue because he just talks about the issues that go to a commander-in-chief. He can't win the argument. Barack will end up winning, and then it'll be a tight election all the way to the end.
Jason Johnson, Lenny, we're out of time. I'm so sorry, guys, but it's so fun to watch you two spar. They're really friends, but you guys really get into it. Jason still has fire in his eyes. Jason Johnson, Lenny McAllister, hope to have you on again. Thanks so much.
Thank you. God bless.
Good morning.